Pleasant good morning to everyone. All protocols being observed. I feel like Chandra Paul coming in after Lara. Ah, so I'll try to do him justice. Right. So um, I have over 30 years experience in the ICT field, and I'm quite honored today to actually be stand in front of you to talk about the launch of the Caribbean Internet Development Foundation. It is an effort of the CTU, all right, and I'm going to I'm going to share with you a bit of history of the development of the CIDF and the CTU and its involvement and our way forward. Suffice it to say that most of the things that my colleague just spoke about, the CTU core function is to create a single ICT space. Yes? And everything that was discussed is what we our focus is to empower that. All right. So let me get into to the presentation because as Nigel said, I'm between you and lunch, and I know how that can be. All right. So there's no need for me to repeat what was said. It's been said at least 3 times already that we're in the 4th industrial revolution. We're talking about robotics and IoT and stuff like that, right? And these are the tools that's going to take us into the 21st century. Last year, the football in China, they had launched this the opening day. What is very instructive, and I felt very proud of, is that they actually use 5G technology to we had just finished the Game of Thrones series. For those of you who follow Game of Thrones, remember that, right? So it had just finished. So the next week they had opened the football, and they used the dragon. I don't know if you all saw it, and that was enabled by 5G technology. All right, so that's where we're headed. All right, so suffice it to say that the internet has emerged as the most pervasive, transformative manifestation of the technological revolution, meaning that the way forward is going to be facilitated by the internet. So the CTU, the Caribbean Telecommunication Union, established the Caribbean Internet Development Foundation on the 20th of October in 2017 as a non-profit organization. Yes? Now, the CTU has been, at the forefront of the internet development in the Caribbean region. And so what you say something, this slide is something that we're all very, very proud of. We are the first, and, being the first to do something has its merit in that TSTT was the first to launch LTE. So nobody could take that from them. So at the CTU, we were the first to launch the world's first internet governance forum. We were, all right? No one else in the world. And we in the Caribbean, we at the CTU were the first to launch the Internet Governance Forum. Also, subsequently, in 2009, we implemented the first Internet Governance Policy Framework, and that was the first iteration. Suffice it to say, at this point in time, we are actually using the 3rd iteration, right? And which is something that we all at the CTU and in the Caribbean are very proud of, because we are, in fact, world leaders when it comes to internet governance. Thank you very much. And again, that goes for the entire team here as well, all right? So we have been doing a lot of roadshows. So the Caribbean ICT Roadshow, we've had, thus far, we've had 22 roadshows in 19 countries in our member states. And at each of these roadshows, there has been a forum for internet governance. And we have our partners as well to thank for that, like Arian, the Packet Clearance Warehouse, the Lions, the Fortinet, the Internet Society, etc. These people, they partnered with us to empower or to share their knowledge on internet governance. So much suffice to say now that they actually hold their own conferences, but they just leave us out, basically. All right, so we need to speak to them about that. But the thing about it is that we've been successful in that we have now highlighted the need for internet governance, and here we have our partners doing their own thing, which is, like a parent and a child. You nurture them and they move on their own. All right. But what are some of our achievements? We've been able to raise awareness and educate our partners on DNSs and IPv6. Now, for the techies, the importance of DNS for security. The importance, one of our major things that we be focusing on is getting our member states to move from IPv4 to IPv6. Suffice it to say that in the world right now, for those of us, most of us who are technically inclined, know that the IPv6 is responsible for the IP addresses throughout the world. Most countries have IPv4, right? And suffice it to say, the only continent in the world right now that has spare IP addresses is the African continent. Everywhere else, it's exhausted. And if we don't move to IPv6, we too will not have IP addresses soon enough. So we've raised awareness and education about IPv6 and DNSs. We've increased our outreach by internet organization, increased awareness of the participation of global internet organization fora, and we've also established critical internet infrastructure, the IXPs, the internet exchange points. Out of our 20 member states, there are only 12 member states that have active IXPs, all right? And one of our focuses as well at the CTU will be to get all our member states to have their own IXPs, the benefits of which are both economic, social, and it allows greater local content of products and services. So there's a lot of economic benefits for each of member countries to have their own IXPs, and we could discuss about that later on. However, that is not to say that we have not had our challenges. And what I've done, I needed to highlight our challenges here so that our members would not think that it's been a smooth sailing for us. Right? We do have our challenges, and I've just highlighted a few of them, which I think are the most important ones. The first one being insufficient attention and visibility to internet governance at the national level. I think my colleague who spoke prior to me, he highlighted that sufficiently when we talk about the politics and all of that. All right, so I will not dwell into that. Similarly, we have limited reach and impact of the regional work at the national level. Now, if he wasn't here presenting, would we have known that? No, right? There are very few people who would have known that you're doing such fantastic work. So again, this is the limited reach and impact of the regional work at the national level. Lack of capacity and organization nationally to benefit from CIGF and to address national internet governance issues. Again, my colleague, he highlighted what they're doing, and this point highlights what we are not doing and what we need to do. Secondly, there's a dearth of skill and work pathways for advocacy on internet governance. There's also a disconnect between regional and national initiatives. There's insufficient capacity of the persons working in the area to represent their countries and international internet fora or to execute internet governance related activities. And again, there's a multiplicity of uncoordinated interventions. All right. And again, he spoke about what they're doing, and I'm speaking about what we need to do, or the deltas between what he presented and what I'm presenting. I'm highlighting the deltas. All right. So what is the rationale? Again, my focus here is to launch the Caribbean Internet Development Foundation. What is the rationale for it? Yes, there's a continued need to create awareness and educate. We need to build expertise on internet governance and digital transformation issues. There needs to be a coordinated Caribbean internet governance activities at the national level. The CIDF will enable us to realize the internet's huge potential and transform the region. Objectives of the CIDF will be to convene the annual CIGF, coordinate the regional activities associated with IG and digital transformation, support the establishment of national IGF, link regional IG's activities to national initiatives, to mobilize national multi-stakeholder communities of interest to execute internet governance projects, train to execute specific mandates, development of professionals who can effectively represent national interests at international internet governance fora. So this chart or this slide depicts what exists now and what we intend to transform to. So currently, everything is being spearheaded by the CTU. It is intended that this now be transferred to the CIDF Foundation, and the CTU will be part of that foundation. All right, and again, we'll be responsible for consultation, mobilization, capacity building, planning, execution, and monitoring. So how are we going to sustain ourselves? This is the nice part for Mr. Wilson, right? How are we going to sustain ourselves in the short term? We need you, our members. We need your contribution. We need your partner organizations. We need what we will be doing in the short term will be, for sustainability. We have development agencies. We have internet organizations. We have ICT service providers, and we would need US seed funding of 150,000 US. I'll leave a moment of silence for that to sink in. And Mr. Wilson specifically asked me to do the slide like this to give you all time. We'll probably, during lunch, all right? Good. In the long term, what are the benefits in the long term? Beneficiaries must contribute for sustainability. Donor funds and sponsorship, project management fees and events, and ultimately, once this, once this continues to proliferate throughout the member states, we'll be able to reduce the contribution of our partners. Our anticipated outcomes. Increasing number of countries that embrace internet governance principles and best practices. Internet-related entrepreneurship and job creation. Strong, consistent, and sustained representation and participation of Caribbean countries in the internet policy bodies internationally, emergence of a national and regional internet innovation culture, 21st century Caribbean government, digital transformation, social and economic development. These are our anticipated outcomes with the launch of the CIDF. So, again, please join us at the Caribbean Internet Development Foundation. We're seeing the work that has been done, and we're seeing the work that needs to be done. And at the CIDF, we will be coordinating that effort, as I presented before. Again, our goal is for a single ICT space, and by empowering and doing this work, we will achieve that objective. Our objective, again, mobilizing and training national communities to support the development of digital economies. Initial seed funding required, again, 150,000 US. Again, over lunch, Mr. Wilson and I will be coming around to you guys. We will be passing the hat. All right, so again, in all seriousness, please join us. We're seeing the deltas. It's not that I'm speaking, in this, we're seeing the deltas. We see the great work that has been going on here, and we're seeing what needs to be done. Thank you.